DJ Lil create vibes now.
Welcome to season 2 of the Get a Love Like Mine podcast. We are your humble hosts. I'm Kesha Amos. This is my beautiful husband, Sam Amos. We are so grateful for all the feedback and everything that we got for season 1. We hope that you're all caught up and that you are ready for season 2. This is our premiere episode and this is Valentine's Day weekend, so we wanted to do something special today, something for the lovers. So, we want to discuss compatibility when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Thank you. Same to you. I look forward to spending many more with you.
Thank you, sweetie.
So, I usually go in on the men when it's my turn to speak on the podcast because I'm a man. So, I want to discuss a little bit about how men see Valentine's Day. Because I can remember a time when, to me, Valentine's Day seemed, I'm not going to say like it was a waste, but you feel like you're spending money on stuff that is not going to last that long. And then it's nothing for a man to think, well, if I'm paying this bill, that bill, this bill, then, you're already kind of getting some benefit there before Valentine's Day, but that's not the right mentality. And it took an older guy in the store one day when, us men, it was mostly men around. Mm-hmm. And of course we were around all the flowers and candy and stuff and picking through them, trying to figure out what to buy this woman that we love. Mm-hmm. And, we're looking at these prices and I'm saying, okay, there's no reason why some flowers should cost this much. They didn't cost this much yesterday, but you raised the price on them. See, that's another thing, man, that just drives us crazy. Like, why would you raise the price on these flowers? Like, I know these flowers weren't this expensive yesterday. So anyway, so the guy, he says just the simplest thing to me. He says, look, man, just do it and get it over with. And he kind of changed my whole mentality of, it's not really about, is this necessary, or let's make sense of where I'm spending the money, because if you look, you probably waste money on stuff all the time, but you don't really analyze it when it's for you, or if you think it's a good idea or not. So this is a day that's set aside for lovers and really for the men to make his woman feel special. Not that the woman can make the man feel special also, but most men don't want flowers, right? So there's nothing wrong with going all out for that person to show them, this is how much I love you. Be creative. Sometimes you think, oh, well, if I just do something, let me just get a card and shovel it. You can, but there's not a whole lot of creativity or thought into that. So men, it's one of those things that in our mind financially it may not make sense. It doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm gonna buy some flowers that'll be dead in 7 days or 14 days, however long they last. But that's not the point. So you have to change the way you look at the glass, half empty or half full. Look at this as a day of expression. I can express my love for my wife, and then it's only going to last for 1 day. It's not like you have to do it once a week or that would be nice, I think, but we get a little bogged down into making sense out of it, but we don't go and make sense out of the rims we buy and put on a car, or we can mess off money at the drop of a hat and not use the same analysis as we do for the money I'm spending on Valentine's Day. So
is that really how y'all think about Valentine's Day? Like, why waste my money?
Yeah, because okay, going out to eat and spending time together, there's nothing wrong with that for Valentine's Day. Because we can do that all throughout the year anyway. So to a man, that doesn't seem like I'm really going above and beyond because we already do this. Buying flowers, I think, is one of the biggest problems we have because there's a ridiculous price on them and they're not going to be around very long, you know. So, but it's this traditional thing.
Let me address it. Let me address from my perspective. I'm not going to even say from a woman's perspective. I'm going to address from my perspective. I, growing up, had a lot of ideals about the perfect life. You know, wanting that fairy tale, Prince Charming, and on your wedding day being a princess, and every Valentine's Day is supposed to be filled with teddy bears, balloons, and flowers. But as I've gotten older and learned so much about myself, I am more of a practical person than a romantic. I'm not really a romantic. So taking me out to eat and all of that, yeah, that's nice. But like you said, we do that all the time. So it's not specific to Valentine's Day.
Right.
It's not necessarily special for Valentine's Day. But I'm not, I know this probably going to surprise you because you buy me flowers, but I'm not big on flowers. I like looking at them, but after one day, I don't have to see them anymore. I'm not gonna, you know how they give you the little pack of aspirin to put in there and try to keep the flower. I don't do none of that. You do that.
Right. That's another thing because when we spend the money on the flowers and at the time we're buying them, we're already thinking, you already know they're not going to live very long. So I've become an expert. It's in my mind to go and change the water out, to feed them. I'm paying attention to them flowers. I'm trying to make them last as long as I can. Because I had to spend the money on them. I'm trying to make them hang around. And I live in a house with a number of women. You know, there's 3 women here at all times. And boy, it's murder buying bottled water, but that's not even part of it, right? But I buy Valentine's for my wife, my mother-in-law, my stepdaughter, and my daughter. So there's no room to be sitting up scratching your head. You just gotta do it.
I get it. But I think I'm getting to the age where I think if actually you talked about the card. If you bought me a Valentine's card that was empty and you wrote in it, I think that would mean more to me than flowers. Right. I think that's something special for Valentine's Day that I don't get all year long. Yes, you tell me you love me, how much I mean to you, but like some heartfelt words of your own, not that came from Hallmark, that will be special for me for Valentine's Day. But let's get to talking about compatibility. Okay. So one of the main cliches I heard growing up that helped, well, I'm not going to say they helped me, but that steered me into finding a man was that opposites attract. You hear that all the time, opposites attract. And I do believe that opposites attract when they're magnets or electricity, or it's a scientific thing. But I don't think that opposites attract when it comes to relationships. Or maybe they attract, but you can't sustain it because there's always tension. There's always friction. And if there's always tension and friction, how are you going to, have a long-lasting relationship? Yeah, you might be attracted to the person, but I think having things in common, being more alike than like-minded, would be. And I'll give you a prime example. Just recently, it was in the news that Megan Good and Damon Franklin are getting a divorce. When they first got together, that was the first thing I thought, oh my, opposites do attract. I didn't see them as similar. You know, she's an actress, movie star. He is being a preacher, a pastor. I didn't think I didn't look at her and see pastor's wife. I mean, I know women, we could be anything, but when I looked at her, I didn't see pastor's wife. And I'll use you and I as an example. If I met you initially and you were a pastor, I don't think I would have dived in to the relationship, because my idea of what a first lady is, I'm not her. I mean, I got tattoos everywhere and want more. I'm not a saint. I love God, which I'm sure also Megan Good. I know she loves God. I know she has a relationship with God, but it's not first lady type relationships. And just recently she had a new show come out on Amazon, Harlem. Very good show. But as I was watching the show, I was like, I can't believe her husband, the pastor, would let her, I'm not going to say let her, was comfortable with her in this role. And then, a month or two later, it's announced that they're getting a divorce, which, I'm not rooting for a divorce. I would have hoped they would have made it last, but that opposites attracting, it probably attracted, she was probably attracted to his faith in God, his relationship with God, but she still is who she is, and everybody is not cut out to be a first lady.
How long were they married?
I think 9 years. A long time. And then they never had any children, which I kind of find, like, she's a young lady. Not, I'm not all in her business. I don't know if she couldn't have children or she chose not to have children because of her career. But if you were a pastor, you would think he would want some kids. I would think that might have played a part as well. So, opposites attracting, that's not, I don't think, I think they can attract, but I don't think you can, you're not going to build a compatible relationship with somebody that you're opposite from. Another thing, I had looked at a compatibility test. One of the first questions they ask is, what is your zodiac sign? And what is your crush's zodiac sign? So I want to talk about zodiac signs because, man, zodiac signs used to consume, astrology just used to consume me. It used to consume my day. That was the first thing I did when I would wake up in the morning, is read my horoscope for the day. I had a book that told me who I was compatible with. I could look up any sign, any couple, and look, oh, is he compatible with her, or whatever. I was just so deep into it that even when I met guys, that was the first thing I asked, what's your sign, or when your birthday, and I'll figure out the sign. And if the book told me I wasn't compatible with them,
you weren't interested.
I wasn't interested anymore.
It's funny that I'm going to throw this in and you can finish talking.
Okay.
Zodiac sign, like the reading of it and all that stuff, kind of dissipated a little bit once newspapers went away.
You think so? They have them in the magazines. They have them. You can get your zodiac sign anywhere.
Well, I'm not saying you can't find it.
Oh, yeah.
But that was one of the things.
But yeah, I used to read it in the paper.
Flip to right, yeah. People would flip
every
to it
day.
to see
When I worked at the post office, the paper guy would come and deliver a big stack of newspapers, and that would be the first thing I do is open it up,
see what it says.
How's the rest of my day gonna go? But it took. I spoke once before about an Encounter God weekend that I went to in my church, that I because I had no clue that believing in the sun, the moon, and the stars, that's like against God. You're supposed to trust God for guidance and for wisdom, not your horoscope. And so it was then that I stopped putting so much stock into it. Now I just look at it for like entertainment purposes. But I don't look at it, I don't go looking for it, in other words.
Right.
But if I meet somebody or I'm on social media and I hear somebody post, oh, I'm a Taurus woman and I do this, or I'm a Virgo woman and I do that, I still laugh at it because I still find it entertaining. But I don't put any stock in it because I know you can, like, I'm a Virgo, my husband's a Capricorn. I know compatibility wise in astrology we're the perfect couple. But I also know some Capricorns that I can't stand. So it's not
across the board.
Yeah, it's not a perfect science. It's not something that you should put so much stock in over going to God and asking God, is this the right person for me?
Let me ask you this. I'm not I'm not gonna say any names, but at one time you had a friend. I remember this friend that would go see an astrologer person, and that astrologer person would tell her when she was gonna get married. They would always tell her, "Oh, I see, I see marriage."
I don't know if he was an astrologer or like a fortune teller or something like that.
But it was along the same
the
lines.
Bible is against all that stuff. You're not supposed to rely on any of those things. But yeah, he used to basically tell her what she wanted to hear.
And then that was, just give a ballpark figure of how long ago. What, 10, 12 years ago?
I don't know if it was that long ago, but it's been long enough ago to where she's still not married.
That was where I was going. Did she ever get married?
And that guy who she was going to see him about, he got married, but not to her. So maybe he saw somebody else's fortune. I don't know, but
the ball was a little cloudy. I can't see who that is in there.
But you just can't put stock in that stuff. Fortune tellers, palm readers, astrology, all of that stuff is against God. If you want to know if somebody is compatible with you, you ask God for guidance and for wisdom on the topic, and he'll show you the signs if you look at them. I see memes all the time about people asking for signs from God, and then when God give them the sign, they ignore the sign. He gonna give you the sign. Now it's up to you to discern what the sign is or not. But I think let's talk a little bit, let's make like a compatibility checklist. So what would be like the first thing you would say that you should look for to determine if you're compatible? But besides going to God, like what are other things that can help you decipher whether you're compatible with someone or not?
Well, I think about this if I were giving advice to, say, one of my sons that are in their 20s, or, if someone had spoken to me when I was in my 20s, looking to, if you're, truly ready to be in a relationship, you done all the hanging out with the fellas and the clubbing and all that stuff, because you don't want to move forward and that stuff is still in you, because that doesn't make your relationship any better. But this is one of the things that I wish someone had told me, because I went to marriage counseling, and there were some good things in there.
That's in your first marriage,
right? My first marriage. I can remember, parts of it. I can remember there was a session where both sets of parents had to come, and the pastor made it clear that once your daughter and your son come together, y'all need to break out and stay out of their business, stay out of their relationship. Let them do what they have to do to become one. But among all the things that I learned, one of the things I wish someone had told me was that you need to be mentally compatible. You need to be able to coexist mentally. That other person needs to understand how you think. You need to understand how they think. And y'all need to share like interests mentally. Like, I grew up seeing my dad work multiple jobs. Not meaning I had to follow his path, but I ended up following his path. That's what I would do. I had a full-time job working for the government, but I had a good friend of mine that worked with me, and we were always either we would go to seminars, we would look at all types of things just to explore to see, was this worth my time where I could make some more money to take care of my family? Well, the person I was married to didn't see the need for that. She didn't see like the long-term goals in it. And by chance, if you got involved in one or pursued one and it didn't work out, or you got down there and saw, oh, this isn't for me, well, to her that was like a failure, and like, oh, here you go again, that's all you you know. And my mind, like, our minds never coexisted mentally when it came to stuff like that. I was interested in sports a lot of times. We would go to see pro sporting events, you know, go to Rockets games or whatever. She wasn't interested. Now she would go. I couldn't go by myself and just buy one ticket. But she would go and she would read a book while we're there. Like, wasn't interested.
Is that more on opposites attracting but not being sustainable? Because y'all didn't have like interests or hobbies and things of that nature.
It can be a huge strain on a relationship if you guys cannot connect mentally. And that was one of the things that I would share to all young people, because for whatever reason that seems to get skipped over when people are saying, you know
why it gets skipped over? Because the number one thing that people say when they ask, what makes your marriage last this long, or what makes your relationship last this long, and they say communication.
That's what
and nobody wants to hear communication, but you can only have an understanding of my mentality and the way I think if I communicate it to you. If I don't tell you how I'm thinking or why I'm thinking what I'm thinking, you'll never know. So you have to communicate. You early on in your relationship, you probably communicated that you like sports. Maybe not even verbally. You might have just always been watching sports, so she knew you liked sports. But were you looking at her nonverbal communication where she was just sitting there reading instead of going to sporting events? If you guys didn't communicate that these are the things I like, then, you know, the lack of communication would hinder your ability to coexist mentally. I'll use my ex-husband as an example for that. We did have like interests. We both like basketball. We both like playing dominoes. We both like humor. And when I say humor, I mean almost like dark humor. And so we went a lot of we like music. So we would go a lot of places together based on those shared interests. But we didn't communicate. It was just like, you know, in the beginning we got to know each other by, you know, kind of, oh, you like doing this? Yeah, me too. That. And that was it. So then later on, once we got married, we would go to these places and we didn't talk to each other while we were there. It was just like having somebody with you. But we didn't communicate. And come to find out, yeah, we liked some of the same things, but I'm not going to say we didn't like each other, but I didn't like him. I learned that as the marriage went on.
See, and there's a lot of things you learn as you get older. And that's the only reason I'm saying this about coexisting mentally, is because I don't know if that's something that gets skipped over, or it kind of gets lost in the middle of, you need to learn how to communicate, you need to learn to trust, and all these other. We've heard all these things a million times. So when you're ready to get married or be in a committed relationship, these are the things that you hope that you can find in that person. And okay, so you find them. Here's a person that you can trust, and we definitely communicate, because we sit and talk on the phone all day, not knowing that that's not 100% of what that means, you know. So I need to be able to communicate with you, but here's the communication that you need to have in a relationship if you want it to be bliss. Now, anybody can put their relationship on autopilot, and even you sleep upstairs, I sleep downstairs. At least all the bills stay paid. I'll get up, go to work. I don't have to deal with you, and we come home and speak. I'll eat my dinner in that room, and you eat the kitchen. A lot of people, they live like that, but you want this person to be, for lack of better words, it's not a great word, but I'm gonna use it anyway. You want this to be your homeboy.
Your homie.
You're my homie.
Yeah.
Right? So I can talk to my wife about anything. That's the communication that you want to have for your relationship to stay like this. Like, we don't have to argue. And before you know it, you really get to learn that person when you can put down your guard and really open up and talk to them about anything.
And it's not even all about talking. Like I said, sometimes it's the nonverbal communication. Like, this is one of the things I used to say about my ex-husband, is that he knows the things I like. Like I said, he knows I like playing dominoes, doing this or whatever. But if he walked in the house and I was sitting there like this, and he said hi and I said hi, and I just sat there, he could not read my nonverbal to say something is wrong with her. Now, with my current husband, so that made me feel like, with my ex-husband, that he didn't know me. That he knew things about me, but he didn't know me. Now, my current husband, he can hear it in my voice. He can see it in my posture. He can see it in my eyes. Like, what's wrong with you? He knows me, even without me verbally saying anything. He knows me to know something is wrong. And I'm the same with him. I can tell, like, when he's not feeling good. I can tell when somebody else has peed him off or whatever. These are things we notice about each other. And it's not about talking. It's about the nonverbal communication. But it all goes back to, like you said, coexisting mentally. I remember early on in my early days of wanting the ideal marriage, you know how you hear people say, oh, you need to be equally yoked. When I would hear equally yoked, I had no clue what it actually meant. I thought it meant, like I said with my first husband, that we had things in common, that we liked the same things. But one thing where I know we were unequally yoked is that we got married in the church. It was his mom's church. He wasn't a member. I mean, he had like grown up there, but as an adult, he didn't attend. And I had changed religions. Like, I grew up Catholic, and so I didn't want to go to the Catholic Church anymore. I still believe in God. I was still a Christian, but I wanted to attend a non-denomination church. So I would get up on Sunday and be like, I'm getting dressed, let's go to church. And he literally just, as I'm getting dressed, pulling my clothes, making me lay back down. He did not want me to go to church. And it was as though, I'm not going to say he didn't believe in God, but he definitely didn't have the relationship that I was yearning to have. And I found out later that we were just unequally yoked. We did not have the same faith in God, the same outlook on God. And so when you hear someone say, for any young people that are watching this, that you're unequally yoked, it means you shouldn't be in a relationship with a non-believer. You shouldn't be in a relationship with someone who is going to stop you from having a relationship with God. What you think about that?
That's exactly what it is. Excuse me. A lot of the younger generation now is crazy. The Lil Nas X, they can make devil worship or non-believing
fun.
Oh yeah, look, glory. You know what I'm saying. And here goes a whole group of young people following that foolishness. Like, that's no good. But there's a lot of that now. Like they call it a mockery of God. Like these the younger generation, they have no problem just making fun of God like it's a joke, or it's fun to worship the devil. Like, man, I don't know. We didn't come up like this, so it's hard for us in the older generation to understand that type of and they call it entertainment. Like everything is about making yourself popular when it comes to social media. So we got men wearing dresses with makeup and
oh my God, you done got all the way off topic.
So it's just it's crazy, but you just can't follow that craziness. So going back to being equally yoked, it's a big thing.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought it meant you had things in common, like your hobbies or your interests or what you did for entertainment. But those things play a part as well in your compatibility. I think that's something that should be on your compatibility checklist. If, like you were talking about, you and your first wife, if she likes reading and you prefer live sports events, how are you going to make those two things mesh? Not to say that you couldn't have made it work. She could have agreed to allow you to go to the game with your homie, and she could have stayed at home and read her book, or went to the library or whatever, wherever you read. But you had mentioned earlier this week to me about somebody talking about going to the club. So if you are one of those people who likes, like my cousin, she enjoys going to a lounge or club or whatever, because she likes the vibe, she likes the atmosphere, she likes having a drink, she likes listening to the music, she likes doing a little dancing, a little. She dips in, dips out, and that's it. But if you are in a relationship with somebody who they don't like that, that's gonna be one of those opposites attract type of things that is gonna cause tension and friction in your relationship. So I feel like if you both like going to the club, then sure, go ahead and go together. I still feel like it's gonna be some tension and friction, but on the off chance that it's not, you guys might enjoy it. You might have a good time with your like interests or hobbies. But I feel like when you don't share interests and hobbies, I mean, when you get to know somebody, you can, when you're dating or whatever, you like, oh, we're going to try something new. We're going to do something that I want to do this time. And, you can do that type of thing. But long term, you're going to have to find a solution to, people with different hobbies and interests.
Especially for me. These men, you mentioned earlier this week that our daughter said that it seems like this generation has a problem with commitment, long-term commitment. And so let's kind of expand on that a little bit, because to me, I don't have a problem with these younger generation not committing, because that's just as good a decision as committing if you're not ready to commit.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know if she doesn't understand that, okay, if a guy's not ready, the last thing you want to do is talk him into doing it anyway. Because he may try to walk that line, but it's not going to be long. He won't be able to walk it for long if that raging bull is still in him. It's hard. And then, this guy, on a good day, is straddling the fence, trying to walk that line. But it's not easy when you're not ready. Hey, don't do it, because on the out chance that he does, then he's gonna drag you down because you're gonna be having to go through his phone and his stories are gonna sound shady grady because hey, he wasn't ready in the beginning. He was just trying to either make you happy or, and this is the thing I don't like about men, I'm gonna try to hold on to you and still do my thing at the same time. You know, the old cake and eat it too.
Did you see the Janet Jackson documentary where her and Jermaine Dupri were talking about their relationship, and she was like, Jermaine is such a good guy, and you know, he spoke so highly of her. But when they asked why did they break up, it was because he said once women saw that he had Janet Jackson, they just started throwing themselves at him. Like, you know, I want what Janet got. And he obviously was not ready
For the throwing.
for the commitment, because he was like, oh shoot, well, this was what I gave Janet, so you can have some too. But it was like you said, my daughter talked about, you know, guys not wanting to commit, but you can't force anybody to commit to a relationship or a marriage. If you like force them into doing it when they're not ready, it's not going to turn out right, because they're still going to make certain decisions and they're going to throw it in your face that I told you I wasn't ready. This is what you wanted to do. So
and then the peer pressure from the girlfriends. Man, if he really wanted you, he don't want you to been tried to marry you. So then you go home.
it's not even just the girlfriend. Sometimes it's your mama, your auntie, your grandma. They just like, you know, when y'all gonna get married, or if you do get married, well, when y'all gonna have a baby? I mean, it's always pressure. But like you said, if you, I'm not going to say have fear of commitment, but you're not ready for commitment. It's honorable, I think, to make the decision that I'm not going to commit to you. The woman may not understand, because women, you know, we want to be in relationships, but ultimately, if you get into a relationship with that woman and then you hurt her, you know, unnecessarily, it's not going to be good for either one of you.
Guys have to realize this too. Sometimes as men, when we start getting close to being ready, but we're not all the way ready. Like, you know, there are times we're fine with the committed relationship, but then this is where it kind of gets off track a little bit, where the guy may have there's a function coming up, a bachelor party, or maybe a fella's trip or something, that, okay, I might take my girlfriend with me to wherever we go, but this event coming up, I really need to find a way to get away from her, because I want to go to that without her. So here we go, straddling the fence again. So that's a guy that, no, he's not ready. You're not ready to be fully committed. So, you know, sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't, can still come out to be bad for that lady. So, you know, ladies, don't rush these men, because what you don't want is a committed man that's not fully committed, not all the way ready. And only he knows when he's ready. And men, don't sit here and try to hold on to it so can nobody else have her.
Right. You cannot expect her to be faithful to you and not date anyone else, all because you haven't made up your mind what you want to do.
You want to keep running.
Yeah. So it definitely goes both ways. So it's that time. It's time for Ask the Amoses. And we have a question from a younger viewer who asks, what are some challenges you think the next generation will face? What you think about that?
There were two that came to mind when I first heard the question. The first one, I've said a million times, we can even go back to communication. the younger generation don't have not learned how to communicate, don't have the tools to communicate with one another and with older folks, all because of one reason. Right here. You can't spend your life walking down the street, sitting in class, sitting at work, trying to drive. Put the phone away. This thing has made zombies out of this generation. They don't know how to talk to each other. They can sit, we've seen it, go to dinner, right? Mm-hmm. Got a couple, man on this side of the table, woman on that side. No one's looking at each other. Everybody's looking, he's looking at his phone, she's looking at her phone, every now and then one laugh. then he takes it back or something. He got to put something on it. He's got to take pictures of himself. Come on, man. Y'all aren't communicating at all. You forget what this is for. My kids, I tell them, hey man, get those phones out of the kitchen. Y'all can't even eat a bowl of cereal without propping the phone up and finishing watching what you was looking at upstairs. You gotta finish that show.
Oh my goodness.
And it's over.
You want to give your other one out?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk on that one.
My one of the challenges I see, and I see a lot of people feeding into it, is this next generation is kind of like a microwave popcorn generation, and I'm saying that because they want instant gratification. They think that the minute they say something, it's supposed to appear. Mm-hmm. So, as I told you guys at the end of season 1, my brother and I, we started a title company. We bought a franchise of White Star Title. We had our grand opening last week. Everything's going great. So I'm in a lot of new Facebook groups and things like that. So I'm looking through all these groups or looking through my news feed, and I see stuff like, I need a photographer. Now today could be February 1st, and they're saying I need a photographer February 2nd. Drop your names, samples of your pictures, and links to your reviews in the comments. It's like, that's not how business works. You're supposed to go to the business to look for the business. The business is not supposed to be fishing through the comments looking for you. And you have to give someone more notice than one day. Things just don't work as quickly in real life as this younger generation expects it to.
Instant.
Yeah, they want, snap my fingers and you show me everything. All I'm gonna do is make this post. I'm not doing any research. All I'm gonna do is make this post and you tell me everything I need to know. So that's one of the challenges I see, because businesses don't work like that. Mm-hmm. Especially not big business. Now maybe, a smaller business may be in the comments saying, hey, yeah, here go samples of my work, and you can reach me on this way and pay me on Cash App and whatever. But like Chase Bank is not in the comments. The Gucci store and the Louis Vuitton store are not in the comments. They're not looking for you. You have to go looking for them. So, that's one of the challenges I see for this generation is they're because us as parents, we've made things so easy for them that they think everything just appears at the snap of their finger, and that's not how the world works. But anyway, you have something else? Another challenge?
Absolutely. And the other thing is the ability to use your hands. This generation has missed out on a lot. They don't know how to do anything to your own car. They never learn how to cut grass. you couldn't put together a file cabinet. There's just so many things. Now, if you needed to figure out how to put the charger in the bottom of this thing, now every one of them knows how to. Oh, I need another charger. This one here don't work. But being able to use your hands to get yourself to another level to do something, they don't know how to put anything together. It's just a different time. Like, you just expect somebody else to do that for you, or they might have the instructions to something. And just looking at that, well, I'm going to fold this up, put it back in the box.
And call TaskRabbit and get somebody over here to put this stuff together. And I'm going to call Uber Eats to bring me my food.
Bring me something to eat, that's right.
And Uber to take me where I need to go. Yeah, there is definitely a lack of hands-on
ability. Yeah. There's no ability to use your hands practically for anything.
Well, that's it for Ask the Amoses. And again, this is episode 1 of season 2. We hope that you guys have enjoyed all the content. If you are not, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Get a Love Like Mine Podcast. If you have questions for Ask the Amoses, be sure to send them to Get a Love Like Mine Podcast at gmail.com.
And send something hard. Send me something hard to answer. Let's see what I'm made out of.
Okay. Send them something hard. And thank you guys, and happy Valentine's Day.